149-0. This sounds like a video game score, but it happened in real life. There are going to be 20 records today, with one part of it missing. Can you answer and complete the record? Let's find out. Welcome back, everybody, to another trivia video, but today's trivia video is a little bit different. Today you're going to be filling in the blanks. I'm going to tell you the record with one part missing, and your job is just to tell me what is that part that's missing. It's going to get harder after every single record, but all of these are pretty crazy. Some of these I never knew. So let me know if you've heard of all of these or if you've never heard of any of them. Let's start with the first one. This player has scored in 5 different World Cups. What is their name? What player has scored in 5 different World Cups? I'm going to be giving you guys some hints today because I feel like these questions are a lot harder. You have to really pinpoint specific things. It could be a player's name. It could be a team, a year, a score, a certain amount of time. It's just a little bit different. But which player has scored 5 different in 5 different World Cups? Who is it? Answers are locked. The answer is the greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, who has scored 5 in 5 different World Cups, starting in 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, and hopefully in 2026, he can make it 6 separate World Cups. Alright, record number 2. This country went 1,168 minutes without conceding a goal. Now, we're going to have to do some math. I don't have my calculator with me, but that is it's almost 12 games without conceding a goal, which is crazy because I believe for the international calendar, they don't play that often. So that could easily be a year or more without conceding a goal. Oh, I want to give you a hint. It happened between October 2020 and June 2021. Interesting. So it was less than a year, but practically a year. Which country? Answers are locked. If you watched my previous videos before, we all know that one of the greatest defensive teams of all time, especially internationally, is Italy. Italy has gone 1,168 minutes without conceding a goal, and it broke the previous record, and it ended during Euro 2020. That's when they lost, or they conceded a goal. Record number 3. A goalkeeper once scored from their own goalkeeping area. Ooh, which part do I want to do? You know what? We'll make it easier. He scored from his own goalkeeping area after just 13 seconds into the game. 13 seconds. So I'm gonna assume they passed the ball back to the goalkeeper and he just booted it. What was the name of this goalkeeper? It is one of the fastest goals ever recorded. Another hint. This happened in the Premier League, in the English League. Answers are locked. Here's the answer. The teams were Stoke City versus Southampton. This goalkeeper played for Stoke City, and it was in 2013. As someone who played FIFA a lot back in those days, I definitely know this name. It was Asmir Begovic. Asmir Begovic. Which is outrageous. Scoring a goal in 13 seconds is already crazy enough. But it's a goalkeeper. It says, the ball bounced over Artur Boruk after a long clearance. That's crazy. Alright, speaking of the Premier League, the fastest Premier League hat-trick was scored by Sadio Mane when he played for Southampton against Aston Villa. This was in 2015. How long did it take him to score the hat-trick? I will allow you to round up to the nearest minute, because technically there's an exact time. If you can give me the exact time, I'll give you 2 points. Also, I forget your name, I'm so sorry, but someone commented on a previous video talking about how their favorite player is Sadio Mane. So I'm expecting you to get this right, okay? Don't let me down. Okay, answers are locked. The fastest Premier League hat-trick was scored by Sadio Mane, and it took him 2 minutes and 56 seconds. So if you said 3 minutes or the exact time, you get the point. I don't even know how someone could run, celebrate, and then run, celebrate, and then run and score again. That's outrageous. I know Sadio Mane's fast, but there's no way unless the team just let him walk through. I think I've watched it before, but I don't remember how it went. So maybe they did just let him walk through. I don't know. Alright, record number 5. A professional match once ended 149-0. In what country did this happen? Now a little backstory. The losing team intentionally scored 149 own goals in protest of a refereeing decision. I don't know what the decision was, but that is crazy. That is one way to say, hey, you're not doing a good job, referee. That's crazy. This happened in 2002. What country in what country did a professional match end 149-0? Again, how do you even do that? Because you have to score. The referee has to blow the whistle. The ball has to go back. You have to do it all again. That's so weird. Answers are locked. This match happened in the place. Have you ever played Plague? I think it's called Plague, the computer game. One of the countries was hardest to infect. It is the same country here, Madagascar. It was AS Adema who beat SO Lemyrne, L'Emyrne, in 2002. I really want to know what that decision was. Alright, record number 6. This player has won the Champions League with 3 different clubs. What is their name? He is the only player to win 3 times with 3 different clubs. 3 different clubs. He actually won 4 times. Twice with one of the teams. Now, I'm going to be giving you guys... Ooh, how do I do this? I'm going to do this backwards. No, I'm going to go from the oldest to the newest. And you're going to try and guess after I say each team that he was on. So this player in 1995 won with Ajax. Then in 1998 with Real Madrid. And then in 2003 and 2007 with AC Milan. What is this player's name? Who played with Ajax, Real Madrid, and AC Milan? Answers are locked. The player who won the Champions League with 3 different clubs was none other than Clarence Seedorf. Clarence Seedorf. Clarence. I love the way that sounds. Clarence. Alright, question number 7. A player once scored 5 goals in how many minutes in a top European league? Now, that is pretty generic. So I'm going to help, zone in on it. This happened in 2015. The player's name was Robert Lewandowski. He was playing for Bayern Munich against Wolfsburg. I didn't know this is after he came off the bench at halftime. So there's a hint. It's less than 45 minutes. Because one half is 45 minutes. So how many minutes did it take Robert Lewandowski to score 5 goals? I remember watching this and wanting to show everybody, because that is outrageous. Again, we had 3 goals in 2 minutes and 58 seconds by Sadio Mane. How long did it take to score 5 goals? Again, outrageous. Like, some of these stats are like video games, but even then, there's no way you could score 5 goals in 9 minutes in a video game. Actually, depends how long each half is. If you usually play the default 6 minutes, you can't do it. Wait, did I spoil the amount of minutes? I hope I did. If I did, I hope I cut it out. Which player scored 5 goals? Robert Lewandowski scored 5 goals in how many minutes? In 9 minutes. That's less than 1 every 2 minutes. And again, they celebrate. They have to bring the ball back. The referee has to blow the whistle. 5 goals in 9 minutes. And that was the second half. Imagine going into the break, right? The halftime. And your coach says, you guys got this. Just 1 more half. And then they see Lewandowski get off the bench. And 9 minutes later, you're down another 5 goals. Alright. Record number 8. One Premier League team went 49 games unbeaten. What was the name of the team? And for a bonus 0.5 points, what were their nickname? They had a nickname. And again, Premier League, so this is an English team. English Premier League. Okay, so there's a jump cut because I just started blabbing and yapping and I said the team's name. I don't know why I keep doing that. So anyway, I was saying I know people who are fans of this team, so it helps to get some trivia about them and to know some of these cool facts. But anyway, one Premier League team went 49 games unbeaten. What was their name? It was Arsenal. One of my favorite teams. Arsenal, who did it from May 2003 to October 2004. And they were known as the Invincibles. Invincibles. That's outrageous. Never lost in 49 games. Italy was what? We calculated like 12. No, that was not unbeaten. It was no goals allowed in like 11 games. But they were unbeaten for 49. Wow. A goalkeeper once saved 2 penalties in a World Cup final shootout. Who was this? Do you remember this game? Do you remember the year? The player? The country? The team? I will give you a hint. You don't gotta go that far to know this. There's also another hint. This goalkeeper had a meme made about him, I believe. At least I've seen a meme. Maybe I'm the only one who's seen the meme. I don't know. I think it's a popular meme. Answers are locked. The goalkeeper who once saved 2 penalties in a World Cup final shootout is Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez, who saved 2 penalties in 2022 to beat France and win Argentina their 3rd World Cup. And the meme is basically him using the World Cup as his part. Alright, record number 10, almost halfway. This player scored 91 goals in a single calendar year. What is their name? Again, I feel like we've had this multiple times on this channel, so you should know who it was. This was in 2012. They scored 79 goals for their club team and 12 goals for their national team. And this broke Gerd Muller's Mueller, Thomas Mueller, Gerd Mueller, something like that. Long-standing record. Who is capable of scoring 91 goals in a calendar year? Answers are locked. We've had one of the GOATs already. It's time for the other GOAT. The answer is Lionel Messi, who scored 79 goals for Barcelona and 12 for Argentina in 2012. Alright, halfway through. We have 10 more left. How are you guys doing? Are you doing pretty good so far? Record number 11. The youngest scorer in Champions League history was how old? I don't need the days or the months. I know sometimes they'll be like, this is the youngest player to score, and it'll be like 5 days younger than the previous one. We're just gonna go with the nearest year. However, if you give me the actual day and or month, I will give you bonus point. And I don't mean like the day they were born. I mean how many years and days old are they? If that makes sense. Your hint. Oh, should I give this hint? For 0.5 points, you don't get the full points after this hint. The player is Ansu Fati, who scored for Barcelona versus Inter Milan in 2019. How old were they? youngest scorer in Champions League history was just 16 years old. Specifically 16 years and 40 days old. So if you said any of those, you get the point. I want you all to think about this. What were you doing at 16 years old? I was picking my boogers. And yet there's someone on the highest stage, the highest level of competition, the Champions League, scoring a goal against a team like Inter Milan. That's incredible. Alright, next record. A player once scored 16 goals in a single international match. And it wasn't the one. The own goals don't count, so it's not the Madagascar game. Who scored 16 goals? It's still a record, and it happened in 2001. I think, did Holland score 9 goals? I don't remember. I feel like that's something he would do, but still 7 away from this record. Who scored 16 goals? Here's a hint. It was for Australia, where they beat American Samoa 31-0. At what point do you stop? At what point do you just stop scoring on them? Let them breathe. Answers are locked. The player who scored 16 goals in a single international match is Archie Thompson. Archie Thompson. Never heard of him. But if this is what he does, sign him up for my favorite team. Come on, we can do it. Alright. Question number 13, or record number 13. Only one player has ever scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. What is their name? And for bonus points, when was this? Which World Cup was this? Who scored a hat-trick? I'm very surprised. So in hockey, for hat-tricks, they celebrate by throwing their hat onto the ice. Why don't they do that for soccer or football? Just throw. Well, I guess the arenas are bigger, but still, throw a hat. That would be really funny. It'll be harder to pick up, to be fair. Anyway, the hint for you is that they are an English player. Now, after that hint, you can no longer get. No, I'll allow you. I'll allow you to guess the year because, again, it is what it is. And you still have to know when England won the World Cup because, again, oh wait, no, never mind. I never said they won the World Cup final. I just said the player scored a hat-trick. So it doesn't have to be when England won the World Cup. But anyway, it is. So answers are locked, okay? The only one to ever score a hat-trick in a World Cup final was Jeff Hurst in 1966 against West Germany at Wembley. England won 4-2 after extra time. So he scored in extra time to help England win their only World Cup, I believe. Interesting. Next record. This club won the Premier League despite starting the season with odds 5,000 to 1. Now if you're wondering, good odds, basically saying it's most likely to happen, is an odd closer to 1. 1 to 1 is basically, it's going to happen. 2 to 1 is pretty close. This is 5,000 to 1. Basically saying there's no chance that they're going to win. that if you give me $1, I will give you $5,000 if they win. Because I don't believe they're going to win. And they did. And honestly, it's one of the greatest stories. And being able to watch it and experience it was actually fantastic. And since then, they haven't done much. But we will always remember that season. Here's a hint. It was 2015-2016 season. They scored, or they won, 81 points. Which Premier League team did it? Answers are locked. The answer is the amazing team, Leicester City. Mahrez, Vardy. Oh my god, it was the third one. There's like a trio of attackers. Mahrez, Vardy. Oh my gosh, I'm missing one. Oh, poor guy. Look, I know the third guy. I just forget your name. I'm still a fan, okay? Don't hate me. Alright, next record. Goalkeepers usually don't score. However, Rogerio Ceni doesn't believe in that. And he has scored many goals. He has scored the most goals for any goalkeeper throughout the entire history of soccer and football. How many goals did he score? Now, you may be wondering, like I am, how can a goalkeeper score? We know Begovic scored from his own half. But those are like flukes, so how did this person score? He scored a lot. Now for a goalie, 2 is a lot in my opinion. So how do they score? A lot, because I'm telling you it's a lot. If you're thinking of a number, higher. Higher. Like this goalkeeper scored more than a lot of strikers, I feel like, have scored. Now, again, I'm not talking about the big names like Ronaldo, Messi, Suarez, Ibrahimovic. I'm talking about generic, lesser-known strikers that may have been in the league a couple seasons. Okay. Now, this player scored these mostly from penalties and free kicks. So now that's a little more understanding. Penalties, free kicks, not necessarily kicking from their own half, running the ball up. Okay. How many goals? Answers are locked. I will allow you to be within 10 goals. If you are within 10 goals either side, you get the point. And if you said like 5, and I just said within 10, you should probably increase the amount that you're saying right now. Answers are locked. The goalkeeper, Rogerio Ceni, scored 131 goals, all for Sao Paulo, between 1990 and 2015. Ridiculous record. No goalkeeper will ever beat that. I'm almost certain. Unless someone comes up and they will do all the penalties, all the free kicks, and something else. I don't know what else, but they're gonna need a lot of help to beat this record. Okay, we talked about strikers, we talked about goalkeepers. What about those on the sidelines? Which manager has won league titles in 5 different countries? Name the manager, and for a bonus point, can you name all 5 countries? And a fun fact, they also won the Champions League 5 times. So it's a well-known manager. Who could it be? 5 different countries. gonna give you hints. Actually, no. The bonus question is done, okay? So I'm gonna tell you the leagues now. Alright? So if you get all of these correct, you get the bonus point. It was in Italy, England, France, Germany, and Spain. Arguably the 5 biggest leagues in the world. Answers are locked for the coach's name or the manager's name. The manager who won in 5 different league titles in 5 different leagues is Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti, who is Real Madrid manager. Wow, Ronaldo was there. Italy, England, France, Germany, and Spain. And he won 5 Champions Leagues. Huge respect. Alright, now it's a player that, you know what? Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it like that. The next record, a player once received 3 yellow cards in 1 World Cup match. What was his name? I love the fact that this shouldn't be a record because you're only allowed 2 yellow cards and then you're out of there. So why did he get 3? I love it. Anyone who gets, yellow cards or red cards, as long as no one's hurt, okay? But those who play hard, I have huge respect for. They're trying to win. A player once received 3 yellow cards in 1 World Cup match. The hint is this was in 2006 against Australia. It doesn't say where this player was from. But the referee mistakenly showed him 2 yellows, but didn't send him off until giving him a 3rd. So what you're telling me is he fouled enough to get 2 yellow cards. The referee didn't kick him out, and this player said, "Let me get another one." And I got another one. I got kicked out officially. That is big respect. That is a Dano player. Alright, answers are locked. The player who once received 3 yellow cards in 1 World Cup match is Josip Šimunic. Simunic. Or Šimunic. It's an S with a V at the top. Josip Šimunic. Something like that. Nice. Alright. Speaking of Dano players, this player, Gerardo Bedoya is this player's name. They are a Colombian midfielder, and his nickname is The Beast. The Beast. Why is he known as The Beast? He is known for having the world record for most red cards in a professional football career. How many red cards did Gerardo Bedoya receive? Now, your hint is, whatever you're thinking, increase it. This is crazy. This is a true Dano player. This is like Balotelli level player, but worse. This is like Pepe. If you combine Pepe, Sergio Ramos, and Balotelli into one player, you nickname them The Beast, and you'll get this player. I will give you a point if you're within 5 either side. So that should give you a hint at roughly how many there is. Alright, answers are locked. The Beast, Gerardo Bedoya, the Colombian midfielder, throughout his career has received 46 red cards. At that point, you know what's going to happen. And as a coach, you got to try and coach around that, play around that. How? I don't know. Just train all your players to play a man down, because it's going to happen. Alright, going to a very, very sad record. What country has lost 3 World Cup finals and they have yet to win one? That hurts. Being Portuguese, we never won a World Cup final. I don't even think we've been to a World Cup final. So imagine, like, we've been to a Euro Cup final and we lost. That sucked. But imagine a World Cup final and losing it 3 times. Oh my goodness. I will give you a hint. They lost in 1974 against West Germany. In 1978 against Argentina. And lock in your answers now. In 2010 versus Spain. Who was it? That last one probably gave you a huge hint. Anything with recent information probably is a lot easier to understand. Answers are locked. The country that lost 3 World Cup finals without ever winning one. The Netherlands. The Netherlands. The Netherlands. Who have had a lot of good players in history, so it's kind of surprising that they haven't won one. Alright, the hardest question, the very last record for today. This player scored the fastest goal in Champions League history. There is 2 points up for grabs. What is the player's name? How long did it take for them to score? This is the fastest goal in Champions League history. I will give you a hint. It's less than 1 minute. They had to score somehow within 1 minute to get from the half line to the opposing net. Here is, actually no, I'm not going to give a hint. I'm going to give a hint, but not this other hint, because then it'll give you too much information. They scored for Bayern Munich. They were facing Real Madrid in 2007. Who was it and how long did it take? Alright, answers are locked. This happened after a defensive error straight from kickoff. I'm going to assume Real Madrid passed it incorrectly, and this player took the ball and went on to score. This player's name is Roy Mackay, Makaay, and it took him 10.12 seconds. I don't even know what things I can do in 10 seconds. But this man scored the fastest goal in Champions League history in 10.12 seconds. I don't know how much or how fast this can go. How do you get even faster than that? I don't know. I feel like these records will never break. Alright, 20 records down. How did you do? Did you do well? You know there's always going to be a bonus question. Here's the bonus record. This player has won the World Cup the Champions League, a Ballon d'Or, and scored in a World Cup final? Who is it? I will give you a hint. It is not Messi. It is not Ronaldo. Who could it be? Okay, so for 0.5 bonus points, here's your hint. They scored twice in the 1998 Champions League, World Cup final. They won the Ballon d'Or in 1998, basically the award for the best player for that year. And they won the Champions League with Real Madrid in 2002. Who is it? Answers are locked. The answer is the French magician, Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane. And just like magic, the video is over. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys really did enjoy it. Let me know what your score was down below. And if you have any other records that you know of that are just as crazy. Also let me know if any of these blew your mind, because some of these actually blew my mind. Thank you all for watching. As always, take care of yourself, love one another, and have a great, great sleep.